Welcome to the breakfast hour. It's indeed another it's indeed another beautiful morning right here in the Grand K. What a morning it has been. Certainly an emotional one for me. I don't know how to express what I feel this morning, but certainly I am still embracing that attitude of gratitude despite the circumstance. Welcome to the breakfast hour. Good morning if you're joining us on YouTube. If you have connectivity still, we want to say good morning and welcome. Good morning, Mikey G.
Good morning, Lady Elise. So much, as you said, has been happening. Many persons are unaccounted for. Not necessarily anything is going wrong with them, but this morning is a morning of a bit of concern for many persons. We have seen the devastation. We're talking about Jamaica this morning and some of the things that are happening in Jamaica as the hurricane passed over the western side of the island, ladies. We found out that many persons have completely lost their homes. Completely. Homes have been lost completely. We don't even know where to start this morning.
Well,
so many mixed feelings.
As I say good morning to our listeners and viewers, I am Lady Elise, and of course, Michael G just spoke. And we are reflecting on the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, a storm that has tested our strength, shaken our communities, and also broken our spirits. But we are nonetheless resilient, and we know that from the ashes we will rise and rise again. Hurricane Melissa, a powerful Category 5 storm, has now moved away from Jamaica, but what she's left behind is heartbreaking. From the capital city to the countryside, images are emerging of flattened homes, uprooted trees, and power lines downed across the islands. Over 75% of the island Jamaica is without electricity at this time. In St. Andrew, a power pole collapsed near the Bustamante Hospital for Children on Arthur Wind Drive, one of many signs of the storm's intensity. Roads remain blocked in several parishes, and some communities are still cut off as crews work tirelessly to clear debris and restore essential services. As the nation wakes up this morning, the full scale of Melissa's destruction is still being assessed, but already the stories of courage are beginning to surface. Neighbors helping neighbors, churches opening their doors for shelter, first responders working through the night to bring relief and hope where it's needed most. You're joining us live on the breakfast hour. If you have anything to share with us, I will encourage you to reach out to us on 345-321-6969. I am still waiting to be connected with some family members over there in Hanover. And I do understand that the emergency services, they are working to clear the main roads, at least essentially. Early, they are working on the Rosal Road in Montego Bay and several other areas to get them cleared. So at least we will have passage to Negril and other places. But while we are seeing the images, some are just beyond the scope of anything I could ever imagine. While we look and see what's happening, we are still giving thanks for life. If you woke up this morning and you don't have a roof and you're awake, we still say give thanks. If you have lost everything, we still say give thanks. And so we as a team here at Flashpoint, we are going to be working tirelessly to see what we can do in bridging this gap. And in this moment, providing that space and that area in the unified strength that we must have, Mikey G, as we navigate this difficult time. It is devastating to say the least, but we are still hopeful and we still serve a big, mighty God, the calmer of storms and the provider, and He will continue to provide for us.
You know, Lady Lisa, I am just, without words at most of this, at the devastation that I'm looking at and I'm seeing, just to understand it. I've gone through many storms in my life, where, I've experienced quite a bit of them. Near misses, certain storms that would come, and they didn't come, but at least when they came, it blew so hard, the storm didn't catch the island 100%, or it did at some points of the island, but where I was living, because I'm living in central Jamaica at the time, I was living in central Jamaica at the time, and as a little boy growing up, we would see our neighbors leave their homes where they are not so certain of the protection that they would have from these hurricanes or these storms, and would try to get into a more safer location. And so we would have lots of neighbors in our house growing up. I remember these things, and seeing that and remembering these vivid memories that I have from my childhood memory. I can just imagine now and the devastation I'm looking at, what transpired in the western side of the island of Jamaica. People even in the central part of Jamaica had felt a lot of the impact of the hurricane, the howling winds that scares just everyone in their homes, just wondering what is going to happen next. And while some are having a sigh of relief that it didn't harm them, others are devastated and don't know where to turn this morning because all their possessions and their homes have been lost. And so it is a catastrophic situation and devastating one for many that live in Jamaica, especially in the western side of the island of Jamaica right now.
And it's one of those moments when words sometimes just are so distant. It's a sad moment to see the devastation. Officials are, however, urging everyone to remain cautious, avoid flooded areas, stay tuned for official updates, and check in on those who may need extra help, the elderly, children, and those living alone. As we start this day, let's take a moment to remember those who have lost their homes, their livelihoods, and their loved ones. Let's stand together as we've always done, with faith, with resilience, and with love for each other. Of course, we kick the day off the breakfast hour with our devotionals as usual, because in spite of the storm and in spite of the loss, and many of us are a bit anxious, Mikey G.
Yes.
Because our communication have been cut off to our family members.
Yes.
And I note that communication has been sent out by one of the service providers that I'm just going to read, as they are trying to restore service as soon as is possible. And this, of course, is a notification that comes from Digicel Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa impacted Jamaica. More severe conditions concentrated in the west. We are closely monitoring the situation, and our first priority remains the safety of our people and the communities we serve. Fiber breaks in our transport network have disrupted connectivity, mainly in the parishes of Westmoreland, St. James, Hanover, and St. Elizabeth. We await the all clear from the authorities to begin assessment and restoration exercises. However, we will focus immediate recovery efforts there as soon as officials give us the all clear to proceed. So if you are a little bit anxious, as I am, even though the Bible says be anxious for nothing, we trust and we pray. You know, you don't really have that relief, Mikey G, until you have heard from your mom, your dad, your sister, your cousin, friends, and relatives impacted, because you want to know that they are okay. However, we know that a lot of the country is without light, they're without electricity, they're without water, and we are without the infrastructure, the internet. What can we do? It's time for us to mobilize and get into action, Mikey G. And a website has been shared by the Jamaica consulate here. There is an official website that you can track what's happening, and I share that information with you, because then you can log on to www.supportjamaica.gov.jm. Be sure that you ensure that .gov.jm is on the end, to ensure that you're in fact visiting the authentic website. The government of Jamaica has launched an official website to assist with relief and recovery efforts following the storm, and you can log on to www.supportjamaica.gov.jm. Of course, we will share this information in our description of this video. And this platform provides an opportunity to receive updates on relief operations and shelters, options to donate and support recovery efforts, and assistance for persons locating loved ones or requesting help if affected. So we want to share this information. If you're listening and you might not be directly impacted, but you can certainly share, pass the word along. The official website of the government of Jamaica is www.supportjamaica.gov.jm. We continue to bring you updates throughout the day, but as we get the breakfast hour started, we will head over to our devotional.
Good morning. This is day 29. Who may dwell in your holy hill? He who walks uprightly. Psalm 15, verses 1 and 2. What did you say? Written by Mart de Haan. At Santa Clara University in California, a researcher conducted a study of 1,500 business managers that revealed what workers value most in a supervisor. Employees said they respected a leader who shows competence, has the ability to inspire workers, and is skilled in providing direction. But there was a fourth quality they admired even more: integrity. Above all else, workers wanted a manager whose word was good, one who was known for his honesty, and one whom they could trust. While this finding holds special significance for Christian managers, it also says something to everyone who claims to be a follower of Jesus. Integrity should characterize all believers, no matter what their position may be. According to Psalm 15, truth is at the heart of every word and deed of a godly person. Since the God of the Bible always keeps his word, it follows that a godly person will be known as one who does what he says he will do. We all need to be more careful about our integrity. Do those around us admire us for our honesty? Does the Lord see us faithfully doing what we said we would do, even when it hurts? If your word is good as gold and your actions prove it true, others hearing what you say know that they can depend on you. Our quote this morning reads, "Only by being on the level can we rise in the eyes of others." End quote.
It's certainly a fact that we are all on the level this morning. You know, disasters, they teach us, they do teach us something. They teach us how fragile life is and how important it is that we are our brother's keepers. And if you're not feeling the pain that if you're not feeling the pain this morning, that certainly comes from the results of this disaster, you know, it really hits home. And as I'm scanning the messages and persons trying to reach their relatives, one person says, "I can't get my cousin. We just continue to pray for them all. When the power is restored, we will hear from them. The Lord protect us all. Let us cast our cares on them." Some persons are rejoicing. Some spoke to mommy, and others are awaiting communication from relatives. So keep the messages flowing. We also recognize that a few members of our VIP group have been impacted directly by the storm because our VIP group extends way beyond our base, which is in Cayman Islands. We have VIPs in Jamaica, in US, in Canada, in St. Lucia. Good morning, Mama Lucy. We have VIPs all over in the Turks and Caicos Islands. So we, at this time, want to say with you, if you're in Jamaica, we are standing with you and we will get the word out. We'll get the help. We will try high and low, fly high and low in order to get the help you deserve. So another update that has come in, following the passage of Hurricane Melissa, Jamaica's airport network is edging towards recovery. According to Audley Dedrick, head of the Airports Authority of Jamaica, there's a strong possibility that the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston could reopen as early as tomorrow, Thursday. Mr. Dedrick explained that the initial reopening would focus mainly on rescue, relief, and essential cargo flights, allowing critical supplies and medical assistance to reach the capital first. A full commercial reopening will depend on safety inspections, power stability, and runway clearance. Meanwhile, Ian Fleming International Airport in St. Mary may also reopen on a limited basis pending final checks of navigation systems and perimeter security. However, things remain uncertain over there in Montego Bay as Sangster International Airport, normally the island's busiest gateway, sustained more extensive impact from wind and flooding. Assessments continue this morning and authorities have not yet set a timeline for resuming flights there. For now, the Airports Authority, the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, are asking the public not to travel to the airports until official clearance is announced. Travelers should stay in close contact with airlines and monitor verified government channels for update. We're also hearing that emergency teams are prioritizing fuel delivery and generator support for airport operations, ensuring that when runways reopen, they do so safely and sustainably. It's a reminder that the road to recovery will take patience and cooperation. Every inspection completed, every cleared runway brings us one step closer to normalcy. And of course, we will be hearing from, the different sectors that have been impacted. Certainly tourism is going to feel the brunt of this, because I'm sure that hotels might have been affected, and of course the flights from tourists who would have been coming in. We are aware that the busiest time of the season is typically in November, and now we are almost in November, and this is what we're facing. But all help is still on its way. That's your travel infrastructure update here on the Breakfast Hour. And of course, we are maintaining the coverage on the rebuilding efforts after Hurricane Melissa, Category 5. Let's find out where Melissa is at this time. Melissa continues to be a huge, huge concern. The latest advisory comes from the Hurricane Center, and that was issued 8 a.m. today. Hurricane Melissa intermediate advisory continues to move over eastern Cuba and will soon emerge into the southwestern Atlantic, bringing damaging winds, flooding rains, and dangerous storm surge to Cuba and the Bahamas today. Location is 20.6 degrees north, 75.7 degrees west, about 45 miles or 70 kilometers northwest of Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, about 205 miles or 335 kilometers south of the central Bahamas. Maximum sustained winds are 105 miles per hour or 165 kilometers per hour. Present movement north-northeast or 30 degrees at 14 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure 968 millibars. Watches and warnings. The government of Jamaica has discontinued the tropical storm warning for the island of Jamaica. Watches, a hurricane warning is in effect for Cuban provinces of Granma, Santiago de Cuba, Guantanamo, Holguin, and Las Tunas, southeastern and central Bahamas. A hurricane watch is in effect for Bermuda. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Haiti, Cuban province of Camagüey, and Turks and Caicos Islands. A hurricane warning means that hurricane conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area. Residents in Cuba should remain sheltered. In Bahamas, preparations to protect life and property should be completed and residents should remain sheltered. A hurricane watch means that hurricane conditions are possible within the watch area. A watch is typically issued 48 hours before the anticipated first occurrence of tropical storm force winds conditions that make outside preparations difficult or dangerous. A tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area. For storm information specific to your area, please monitor the products that are issued by your National Meteorological Service. That's the latest update on tropical storm or Hurricane Melissa. And let's find out what level she is at this moment. But certainly she has left quite a bit of destruction in her path, Mikey G.
I can tell you, by far,
Yes.
as you said, devastating is like a minimal word to use. We know what devastating is, but it's like it's not qualified for this. What has happened in that side of the island of Jamaica?
Yes.
This time, I remember when Bahamas had the tsunami, and it destroyed the entire island, where the homes were flooded out, and people lost everything. Mm-hmm. Water came and took all of it. you know. So as I think about these things, I can just use some of that to mirror or imagine what has happened, and as we get footage from various persons, and we are examining them now to have them uploaded and actually being broadcasted somehow to show some of the devastation that is happening and has happened last night or into this morning in Jamaica. You know, it troubles my mind, as I'm saying from this morning, from we begin this broadcast, that, you know, I can just imagine what the people are feeling. Now, we have not heard the loss of life reports yet, and we are waiting for that, and that is for me far greater than the possessions that have been lost already. Because, you know, when we lose things and our lives are spared, I have the experience, and this is my experience, that we are able to rebuild all the time. Doesn't matter how far things have gone, no matter how the direction things go, how devastating things can be. You have seen people rise from the ashes from time to time within our circle and rebuild, ladies.
Yeah.
And so this morning, what we are looking forward for not happening is the loss of life racking up to devastating. No, that would be the devastating thing. They're losing their lives. There are persons who will be losing their lives at this time.
Yes, and as we follow the news, we recognize that there's still a glimmer of hope amidst this, as news coming out of the U.S., the United States Congresswoman Yvette Clarke yesterday pledged her full support to Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa continued to impact the island. In a statement issued by Clarke, who represents New York's 9th Congressional District in Brooklyn, home to a large Jamaican American population, said she would do everything in her power to support the recovery and relief efforts that may lie ahead. Clarke, the daughter of Jamaican immigrants, emphasized the strong bond between Jamaica and Brooklyn, calling it unbreakable. For many of us with roots in the Caribbean, hurricanes are a familiar threat. However, it is still essential to prepare for whatever the storm brings. So we are encouraging you, no matter where you are, this is a time for rebuilding. And we do this together, not on our own. So we are asking you to stay safe. If you're in the Jamaica area, I know that at this moment we are 75% of the country is still without electricity and without water. However, it is our hope that as there is gradual reconnection, that certainly we will become stronger for it. So I just want to remind you, if you're living outside of the country of Jamaica and you want to know how you can help, there is the government website. It's an official website that's launched by the government of Jamaica, and you can connect via www.supportjamaica.gov.jm. That's www.supportjamaica.gov.jm. This interactive platform provides updates on relief operations and shelters, options to donate and support recovery efforts, and assistance for persons locating loved ones or requesting help if affected. So go ahead, if you are in the position that you can log on, you're away. How can you help? You can help in a tangible way. The government has launched an official website, www.supportjamaica.gov.jm. And I imagine the road to recovery will be a tedious one, but one that is not impossible. It is not impossible. Together, we certainly can. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Breakfast Hour. We will be monitoring the situation and providing updates throughout the days as we It's still early in the day, Mikey G. It's still early in the day, and we will hear more as the day goes on as to the extent of the damage. On screen, there is the Montego Bay Airport, the Sangster International. So we know that they are working now to allow the Norman Manley intentionally to be open tomorrow on Thursday, but they're not sure what's going to be happening to Montego Bay. So keep our country, Jamaica, land we love in prayer. And I'm sure we will hear the extent of the damage, because certainly we are waking up now. It's reconnaissance mission, and of course we are seeing the extent of the damage. So we continue to pray for Jamaica, land we love, and we know that together we will rise and rebuild. Thank you so much for tuning in to the breakfast hour this morning. Peace and love to you all, and remember to check on someone, reach out to someone today, find out how they are doing. And if you're anxious about a loved ones, there are paths, there are measures. Be patient with the process. We recognize that a lot of the internet providers, the system is down, and so we are indeed hoping for the best. Thank you so much. I am Lady Elise.
Well, Lady Elise, I want to thank you so much this morning for, just giving us the update as well, as we're in studio together this morning. And it is very, 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 for me, hostile environment and a hostile feeling that I have. I feel really bad this morning about what I'm looking at.
Yes.
But thank you also, listeners or viewers this morning. Of course, remember, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell that when one of these programs comes up, you get it first, as we continue to give highlights on this devastating event that has happened in Jamaica at this time. And so we want to say thank you. Of course, our web reader continues all day, www.flashpointmedia.ky. We'll have more updates on our radio all day today. I will talk a little bit more to some of the persons living across the island of Jamaica. And so you can join us all day to listen to some of the reports that is coming back from the on the ground from various locations in someone neck of the wood across the landscape of Jamaica this morning. And of course, you can also hear from family members abroad who are in the diaspora, who are having their own concern about their family members who are in Jamaica and how they are feeling at this time. Some persons are unable to actually see, hear from their loved ones. Our telephones are down, phone lines are down, communications are down. And so this is one of the things that we look at in a disaster. So what we're going to be happy, what we're going to be thankful for is the ham operators, persons who are using ham radio, CB radios, persons who are in those frequencies, HF bands, AM bands, whichever band you are transmitting in. We want to say, thanks to those persons who are actually on air right now in the disaster, talking and transmitting information from various locations that the cellular phones can't work at this time. It's something very important to see, very interesting to see, Lady Elise. When the technology goes down, you go back to the most primitive things that you think do not work, but they stand up constantly. They never change and always available. Those AM, FM bands that you have on those CB radios and those AM radios,
I did say to my son, I said, my father owned a CB radio, and it would be good to reconnect. And he said, what's a CB radio? It's called Citizens Band, and I was trying to remember his name that he used at the time, because certainly it is important that we recognize, and I have one shot before. I don't know if I can share that with you, Mikey G, but as I prepare to share it, if possible.
Well, I would just shout out a little bit to a couple of our CBS in Jamaica. Of course, Mama Boy, of course, is one of those many CBS that I know, in Jamaica. Max. They call them Mad Max. We have quite a few guys who still use Fisherman, who still uses the Citizen Band radio, and do so much with that. It's a very important thing to remind persons that these things, even though they seem outdated, they serve their purpose at a time like this.
Yes, I don't know if you'll be able to show that one, but this is the, let's see if this is the, you see, and we have to allow for these things to happen, Mikey G. Yeah, this is the Herbert Morrison School. But as we close today's program, we are reminded once again of the strength, faith, and unity that define us as Jamaicans. Hurricane Melissa may have tested our endurance, but she did not take our spirit. Across the island, from Kingston to St. Elizabeth, from the hills to the coast, we have seen neighbors helping neighbors, strangers becoming friends, and communities standing tall in the face of loss. Recovery won't happen overnight, but every cleared road, every reopened school, and every shared meal brings us one step closer to healing. Let's continue to pray for those most affected, to support the rebuilding efforts, and to hold fast to the hope that has carried us through storms before. On behalf of the entire Flashpoint team and us here at the Breakfast Hour, thank you for joining us this morning. Stay safe, stay kind, and stay connected, because together we are going to make Jamaican strong again. So, Mikey G, I don't know if you are able to share that photo, but again, a lot of information coming out to us there from Jamaica, and particularly the western end of the island. This one is aerial view of Herbert Morrison. Do you see how the building is totally flattened? And this is one of our schools there. And I have another one of the Catching All Stadium, which I don't know if you'll be able to catch that one quickly. But we certainly are receiving a lot of footage this morning as in the aftermath of Melissa. Right? Did you get that one, Mikey G? All right, as we prepare to get out of studio, I got a good message, right? I don't know if that means the message said the house is okay. And that is amazing. All right. And we're just preparing to share with you good news. Miss Mac is okay. And Miss Mac is okay, Mikey G. And the house is okay.
Well, that's a bit of good news to hear this morning. That good morning, Mama Mac. How are you doing this morning? Good morning, Alison. Good morning to the community of Anova. Good morning. To hear that you are okay this morning is a real blessing. Giving God thanks for that. It is really something to think about.
Yes, I'm being joyful this morning. We're still giving thanks. And of course, did you share that footage with us? As we get out of studio, it's actually past the time for us to go. I know we have a lot to share, but just stay connected, everyone. This is time for us to unite in the efforts to rebuild. Have a wonderful day, all, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place.